Hello and welcome to this episode of The Sovereign Shift. I'm your host, Chelsea Eden Dubo, and I'm really excited to share this conversation with you. I just finished speaking with Tara Wiskow, and she is here. I'll read you her official bio. She's an intuitive energy healer and life reinvention expert who helps women break free from self-abandonment, self-sabotage, and the cycle of people pleasing. After transforming her own life, hell yes. Like, just wait till you hear her story. After transforming her own life, losing 220 pounds, and overcoming deep emotional struggles, she now guides women to heal by releasing limiting beliefs, negative emotions, and blocked energy that keeps them from stepping into their authentic power. Through her She Rises program, Tara helps women unravel old programming, upgrade their mindset, and up level into the life and body they desire. So she is the real deal. Sorry, I only talk to real deals. She's the realest of the deals. She is such an inspiring person. I mean, God, I'm so lucky. I just get to talk to transformative people all the time. I just love this conversation though, because we get into so many fun, juicy things, right? We get into so much of the woo. We talk about her journey, which I mean, it's so inspiring the journey she walked and what she went through. But she also does this amazing meditation at the end, an inner child meditation, because what she does is combine training, personal training with her intuitive healer abilities. I know. And so it'll actually all come together and make sense when you listen to our conversation. But I just can't wait to have her back. I could talk to her about what we talked about for hours and hours and hours. So I mean, maybe have tissues ready for just her story, but also the meditation she takes you through. But as I always say, just before you drop into this, take a deep breath, take a few deep breaths, just drop into yourself and just sort of prepare to receive this really amazing, funny, inspiring woman. And I'm so blessed to be able to help bring her voice to the world in some small way. So drop in, enjoy, and I will see you on the flip side. Welcome to The Sovereign Shift, the podcast for women ready to reclaim their voice, their nervous system, and their power in a world that demands they stay small. I'm Chelsea Eden Dubo, founder of The Sovereign Shift, creator of Woo Breathwork, and your guide on this breath-led journey into sovereignty of self, system, and spirit. Each episode, I sit down with powerful women, thought leaders, everyday revolutionaries, and allied voices to explore the real, raw, and radical path to embodied sovereignty. We talk about stress, burnout, addiction, motherhood, balance, sexuality, leadership, and breath-led spiritual awakening. And yes, we go deep into all things woo, the divine feminine, altered states of consciousness, intuition, ritual, and the parts of womanhood that have been exiled or dismissed as too much by patriarchal systems. Here, truth is medicine, breath is power, and your sovereignty, non-negotiable. Let's begin.
Hello.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I am very good. Thank you. Thanks for
Um,
having me.
I had a look at the journey that you've gone through, and so much of it resonated. And I know that so many women that listen will also probably find your story so relatable and also so inspiring, especially the trajectory that you've taken. And so, with that in mind, Tara, I invite you to just talk to me about your journey.
Oh my gosh. The journey starts so young for all of us, right? I mean, it starts far before we even know that it's truly started.
Mm.
And I think that the best place for me to actually begin is going to be just a snippet of where it started. And that was when I was 8 years old. And I discovered that my dad was not my dad. and that I had a biological dad that had chosen not to be part of my life when he discovered that my mom was pregnant with me. And instead of having me in his life, he chose to have three other girls that he would have in his life. And this really impacted me very deeply at a young age because I felt like I didn't belong in any family. And I feared on a consistent basis that people I loved would reject me and not want me. And so it put me in that place of being automatically a people pleaser, which is a trauma response of fawning. When we're in one of those four different trauma responses, whether it's freeze, fight, flight, or fawn, when we slip into that people pleasing, it's fawning, and we're trying to put on the right mask for the right person at the right time and never make a mistake. And so this became my way of operating in every area of my life, my friends groups, with my personal family. I did eventually meet my biological dad and my three other sisters there. So I went from two sisters to three sisters. And I fell in love with my dad. He had a lot of regrets for the choices that he made, and now I went from being a one dad girl to two dads, and then just like that, I went back to being a one dad girl because my biological dad died 3 years after meeting him. He had cancer, and so I had such, at a young age, such a big shift of a huge transformation and a losing myself. I shouldn't say transformation. That doesn't, I mean, it was in the wrong direction. Usually we say transformation and we see it going in the right direction. This went a transformation in the direction that we don't desire to go in.
Mm.
So at a young age, again, I really lost myself. I had no idea who I was. I didn't know, honestly, Chelsea, I still get emotional now when I think about it, even though I've spent years of healing. I had no idea who I could be
Mm.
because I thought I had to be somebody specific. And this, so many women have no idea that this, I have just so many goosebumps as I drop into this, no idea that this is the missing link in their life,
Mhm.
is they have no idea who they can be.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we begin like throwing darts at the wall to see where it lands of permission, to get permission. If it lands straight on, that's permission that I can be this woman here. If it's crooked, well, then I can't be her, but I got to go a little bit to this side in order to be accepted here. We're constantly tiptoeing to find that permission of who we're allowed to be with our friends, with our family, at work, and really any social setting. So that was the start of where my journey began. And then it led to me being morbidly obese. I allowed food to become my saving grace, my best friend. It was never a disappointment to me. It fed my emotions. It made me feel comfortable. It never rejected me. Never did it disappoint me. I always knew that a peanut butter and jelly sandwich was going to taste exactly the way a peanut butter and jelly sandwich was going to taste, right? And so it never disappointed me. It always showed up.
Mm.
And that's where I found myself in my very early 20s at 338 pounds and struggling with my self-acceptance, feeling like a complete failure, and that I'd given up on myself, that I'd let myself go. So that was where I ended up being in my early 20s and then divorced. So essentially, what happened is I was engaged at the age of 17. I was married at the age of 20. I was a mom shortly after that. And by the time that I was 28, I was a mom of three boys and was extremely overweight. I knew that our marriage was not going in the direction that it could. It wasn't healthy for anybody involved in the family. And so I filed for divorce and began the journey of finding myself at the age of 28 years old. I became a single mom of three boys, best decision ever made in my entire life. It was a hard, hard journey. But at the same time of becoming a single mom and deciding that finally I was going to find myself, I got to experience that right along my three amazing young men. And not only did I start to learn who I was and find myself and experience being a single mom, which is such an incredible journey. Whether you're single or you're in a married family, it's absolutely incredible. But when you're the mom and the dad, wow, I was blessed to be able to have that experience. And I know that that sounds crazy to say, but I feel blessed. And I also got the journey of going through my weight loss and learning how to come home to myself and create a 220-pound weight loss victory by naturally losing the weight. Now, I didn't always make the right choices. I made a lot of poor choices along the way, eating disorders, starvation, deprivation, kidney failure because of the different weight loss drugs that I chose to put in my body, eventually suicide. And my third suicidal attempt is was when my middle son saved my life, and that was my final attempt. And when I began my true journey of becoming the woman that I am today. And we're not even done, Chelsea. We could keep
Holy
going, but
smokes.
I think I should let you breathe.
I just, I hear your story and I'm just really in awe of I mean, you're right. Our journeys start so, so young, right? That's where the foundation for a lot of the later, let's say, call it what it is, the trauma, right? That's where it begins. And I resonate so much with your journey as well because I had the same situation at 8 years old. That's when I found out that my dad was not my dad, kind of
Oh
thing.
my gosh.
Yeah,
Oh,
and like everything from like addiction as a response to trauma, women, we don't talk about it enough about whether it's food addiction or alcohol, right? These things that are so readily available in society as well. And then we're shamed for using them as a
yes.
coping mechanism. And then it doesn't even like whether you're really thin or if you're in a bigger body, you can't win, right? And that is how we punish ourselves is by punishing our bodies. And
Yes.
because it's not safe to be in a woman's body. It doesn't feel safe to be in a woman's body. I'm curious to know obviously your journey hasn't ended. You're still here. You're still traversing your path. What are you doing right now, Tara?
Mm, I am helping women find themselves and come home, learn to love and fully accept themselves and be authentic. Know that they're safe to be authentic, to push through all the blocks and the barriers. As you said, we don't feel safe to be in our own body. We feel that we have to be a fake version of ourselves in order to be accepted. And in my work, what I'm doing as an intuitive healer is helping women to heal the internal traumas, to unravel from who they have thought that they've had to be all their life. And essentially, it's the unbecoming. It is taking out all the layers. I just recorded an inner child healing meditation for my program of bringing in all that internal being and the thoughts, the limiting beliefs, and we are scraping it out. We're unraveling it. This is something that's unheard of. Most times in programs that I've went through, and I'm not dissing any other program, I'm just explaining how I've learned that we women specifically need this is we go into a program and we step up as this is me, and then we start just piling on this new stuff and piling and piling and piling and piling and trying so hard, Chelsea,
Mm-hmm.
to shift and change. But what hasn't happened is we haven't went in and taken out what's blocking the change. And so the results are so difficult to get to, or absolutely impossible because we won't allow it, or we simply can't allow it. So we unravel. I'm helping women unravel, unbecome of who they've always been so that they can finally upgrade and become the woman that they've been desiring to be and truly the woman we came to this earth to have a human experience having.
Mm-hmm.
When we got here, when we chose to be here, we knew why we were coming here. And shortly after getting into the human experience, we lost it.
Mm-hmm.
We shifted out and we started to travel a different experience. And I'm bringing them home to their purpose of why they're here and then giving them the safety to rise up into it as they up level and fully come home.
I'm so glad you brought up the term unbecoming or unraveling, right? Because it's that is literally what healing is. At least it's
Yeah.
been in my experience. We think of it as like, oh, I'm healing. It's so great. It's actually so freaking hard to go through the healing process, right? It feels like you're being torn apart because you're saying goodbye to so much of your identities that you've been attached to, right? Like
Yeah.
eating disorders. It's the version of you that didn't feel safe in your body to, be a certain size or whatever, right? Because I have a theory about, because I've also struggled with my weight my whole life, and that's because you actually don't feel safe to be in a fit body, right? So every time you lose the weight, you put it back on because it's just that's not familiar. And it's just like that's the healing part. So I'm curious to know, like, when you work with women and you're looking at these blockages, like what do you see as being the block that you see most often in women?
Mm. Oh my gosh, there are so many, to be honest with you. But the word enough is always at the center point of it, of one way or enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough or deserve. I don't deserve to be happy. I don't deserve to have good things or good experiences. That typically tends to be the center point of where I find women are not allowing themselves. So it's their worth. It's where they think they're worthy of in their ability to have good things. And because that is their center point of belief, then that puts them in that situation of consistently doing for everybody else. Because we all coming here innately, our sole purpose is to have joy, happiness. Like that's our sole purpose of being here because that is what makes the world a better place is when we're in a state of joy and happiness because that's what we're putting out. We're all one energetically. So if we put out joy and happiness, everybody else gets a piece of that. And
Mhm.
then if everybody's doing that, then we have this world that just goes round and it's a beautiful place. We both know that that's not the situation.
Hmm.
And so when we're in as women, we want joy and happiness because that's what we're feeling. That's what our higher self is saying. That's what our inner self is saying is happiness, joy, go for that. And we look at that and say, yes, but I don't get that. I wasn't destined for that. If you're me in the past, I believe that if you believe in God, I speak to God, the universe, the higher power, whoever you speak to, I believe that God made the beautiful, successful, smart, funny women, and then he made me. And I didn't understand why. Why didn't I get to be in that group? And then I realized it was my choice of not, and it was because of these beliefs, thinking I didn't deserve it. And I then tried to find that happiness and joy vicariously through the people pleasing, through exhausting myself, of showing up in any way I could for my family, believing that that was ultimately my joy. That's how I got to be happy, is when I saw them happy. Well, then that's how I created my happiness, is doing anything and everything for everybody. And when they were happy, I got a taste of that. And then I could be happy because they're happy.
Mm.
Is that, is that familiar to you?
100, yeah, 100% as well. I resonate too with, the belief that, oh, well, there's those people that are meant to be lucky and have everything, but then there was me for sure. And I realized that I didn't know that I carried around such a frequency of victimhood. It was
Mm,
such a frequency of like, poor me, like I'm not in control. Like I was never in the driver's seat. That's how it
yeah.
how it felt, right? And so you give your power away every day. Every day. But the thing is that I'm so curious to know because one thing I see with women is well, obviously women, is that witch wound. Like so many of us pretty much everybody, every woman carries the witch wound, right? I'm curious to know where that primordial limiting belief about worthiness, where do you think that comes from?
I think that comes from when the matriarchy was taken over by the patriarchy. When that moment, as women were rising up in their healing abilities, as they were creating a shift in the world with what they were capable of doing, and men became scared. And I'm a mom of three boys, so I always say this. I always make sure I love my boys, I love men. I have nothing against. I'm just talking about what happened in the
Mhm.
past, right?
Mhm.
So I believe that when men started to rise up because they became fearful of women's power and they saw what they were capable of, and we had the medical fields coming in, the development of medicine, men were wanting to use the Western medicine of today, right? They were wanting to bring that in. And as women were continuing to heal and were continuing to use their healing gifts and abilities and being a vessel in the way that they were affecting men's ability to believe in themselves. And they were creating this insecurity within the male species, which then caused the patriarchy to bring women against women.
Mhm.
This is where I believe that that started, is because we all have a fear base as women, that if we are confident, if we are believing in ourselves, if we speak our voice, if we stand up for ourselves, then harm will be done to us.
Mm.
And if we support, so for instance, if you're standing up and you're saying, I'm a healer and I can do this, and going against the recommended norm of the country or the world, and I stand behind you, I will be also taken to the stake. I will also be brought to the altar. I will be killed. I will be threatened, or I will be beaten as well because I'm standing behind you.
Mhm.
This made women go against women
Yeah.
and that's where that witch wound comes in.
Mhm.
That's honestly where I think all of this truly started.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It gets really interesting too when you look at the church, the early church where they threw out, the true stories about the Magdalene as well, and you see just the ancient lineage of these very powerful women who carried with them star lineages and had deep medicine, and they're just they're called prostitutes, right? They're denigrated. There's nothing, first of all, there's nothing, let's not judge prostitutes or any kind of women, but that's an example. It's like an
Yes.
example of people just using femininity and the divine feminine to pull them down and put them into the dark, silence them. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's very, very powerful. And so you're now you are an intuitive healer. So you're
Yes.
probably really feeling that now. So I invite you to just tell me, how did that part of your journey begin?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Another very deep part of my life. I lost my sister, Trisha. She passed of cancer. We 2022 Christmas we spent in the hospital and found out that she had stage 4 bile duct cancer. And by June of 2023, she was gone. We let her go. We had to let her go. It was the best interest for her, right?
Mm.
And so upon her passing, I started to get these messages. And of course, when you're in grief and you're going through what you're going through and you're a woman, you think that you're just going crazy. And you think that you're hearing these things because you want to keep her with you. You want to keep her alive and you always want to hear her voice. And so I had this belief of, well, I'm just going crazy and I'm going through some strange grief. And so I went through therapy. I went through talk therapy. I did all that, and coming out of it, I was like, I'm still hearing it. So obviously either talk therapy didn't work or I'm really over the edge. And then I went on a honey or not a honeymoon, oh my gosh, an anniversary trip with my husband. And we get to this town, Stillwater, Minnesota. I think it's a very spiritual place without the town itself knowing how spiritual it is. And when I got there, I heard, I need you to get a gift from mom, for mom from me. And I ignored it. And I knew it was Trisha. That's the only one that it could be. And I heard it again and again and again. We were there for 5 days. And by the time we get to the last day that we're there, I had heard this from her at least 25 times. I truly lost count. Now, my husband is a very big, he doesn't believe in this at all. Okay, does not. So finally, I turned and I said, Babe, Trisha wants me to get a gift for mom. He's like, Oh, okay. And so I'm like, so now I'm feeling judged and I'm feeling really stupid. But I was like, okay, well, Trisha, where's this gift then? And just like that, Chelsea, she says, it's across the street in the gift shop. for anybody that's listening to this and doesn't know what it means to hear it, like it's my voice, but
Hmm.
it's not my thought. It's my voice.
Yeah.
And so we go to this gift shop that was right there next to our hotel room. And I walked up the 3 steps, went through the front door, and she said, go straight ahead, take a right, take a right, take a right. This point, she's taking me into a wild goose chase in my mind. So I stop and I said, Trisha, where is it? And she goes, it's right there on the bottom shelf. Now, this is what you need to know. Two things. When Trisha was at the end of her fight in cancer, my mom and her were sewing coffee cup coasters to keep her busy, to keep her moving because her lungs were filling up. And the other thing to know about Trisha is she had a bone disease. And so she was 4'10". She was short because of this bone disease. And her nickname was Little One, or Short One, sorry. On the coffee cup, it said, I will always love you. I will always be with you, your short one.
No.
So it's a, yeah, so it's a coffee cup and it says short one on it, and it's clearly indicating that somebody has left the world. They're no longer here. I grabbed the coffee cup. I went up and I was bawling. I paid for it. I tell the ladies as they're checking me out, they're crying. And after that, I started to drop into it. I hired a mentor that's also a psychic and a medium to take me through to really understand if this was a direction I was supposed to go. And it was the most natural learning experience that I've ever been in. Everything comes to me naturally. I hear
Mm.
it, I know it, I feel it. I have just about every one of the clairs except for smell and taste, which I'm so grateful for, and I never want to get those clairs.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how I opened up and how I've like stepped into it and continued to travel the journey.
That's incredible. And on a side note, it always seems to me that spiritual people and non-spiritual people tend to marry each other. And
That would make sense.
it usually creates like it's like they have that grounded aspect that folks like us tend to need. But that aside, that's incredible that she used you as kind of a channel for that. Do you think that this was always part of your plan?
I do. I
Yeah.
didn't realize this. You know, when I was younger, I would call it, I've never shared this on a podcast and I'll just share it now. I would call it going back and forth. Like my mind
Mm.
would go and I would be thinking and I could tell myself stories and I would have like this whole big life. And I would do that. I had so much fun doing that. Or when I do cardio, like my mind just goes and I get these downloads. I'll walk into a room and all of a sudden a thought will hit me and I'll know it's from that person, but I don't know why I should know it's from that person. This has been part of my life always, and I truly thought that this was what everybody had,
Mm.
or I thought I was just that odd. So I've
Mm.
always said, yeah, I'm the weird one. I'm the quirky one. Because again, I saw it as being having something wrong with me. Not that it could be a gift. And I guess it's not a gift, not that I could be a vessel, right?
Mm.
Not that I could be a vessel for people in this way. I didn't think that that would be my experience.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm sure it comes to you, and sometimes it's like, oh, not this again, right? Because that's what stepping into this service can feel like, right? It's
It,
like it's
it
not really your choice. You're not choosing
oh,
this.
thank you. Thank you. Yes, like that is something I actually said. I'm like, when do I get to have a say? Because
Yeah,
what if I don't want to do this? And at the same time, I know that I have to. I
yeah,
know I can't not do this.
yeah.
So you are very right.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting paradox because it's not a choice because of there was never a question that you would have gone into the store and done exactly what Trish was telling you to do. Like there was just never you were never gonna not listen to it, even though it took 5 days.
Right.
And that's part of the agreement too. It's like it's like kicking it's they're gonna drag you kicking and screaming, right? Because ultimately they're holding to the contract that oh, Tara, like it's time. You gotta wake up now. Get your
Oh,
shit together.
yes. Yes. And after Trisha, like when I had this experience, I heard meditations, and I've
Mm.
always struggled to go into a meditation. So I thought, okay, I will humor you and I will do this meditation and show you that it's still not going to work, even though I can hear you. And
Yeah.
I went into this meditation, and for the very first time, I honestly was in a very deep meditative state to the point that I was over, like leaned over. I'm pretty sure I was drooling. I went down this path. I met my higher self, and I still
Mm.
to this day, she said, I'm so glad that you finally arrived because I've been waiting for you. And now is your time. You are meant to be a healer, and the world needs you now. And I came out of that, and I get goosebumps as I remember that. I came out of that meditation thinking, first of all, oh my God, it actually happened. How the hell did that happen? And second of all, I guess I'm a healer and I have to be a healer. And now what do I do? Where do I go from here? Feeling this excitement and this fear and this frustration and this anger because then the rest of my life is looking at me and I'm trying to figure out how I bring this all in and how am I going to learn this, all this new stuff? Because this isn't just a like a one-dimensional experience. This is multi-dimensional
Hmm.
stepping into. This is a big undertaking of learning and how am I going to be able to successfully do this and be able to be that vessel for people in a way that doesn't disappoint. I had a lot of fears coming into it. And as I've learned, surrendering to it, I've been guided and fully supported. And my guides, Juan is an amazing, oh, it's 528, my angel numbers. Juan is absolutely my huge guide. He is one of the most amazing teachers that I have, and he's there for me always. I have five guides, and I'm blessed to learn from the best. And then, of course, I have Trisha. So
Oh, so what have they told you about, all these really wonderful questions like how do you step into service and how do you even the thing is like when you step into intuitive healing and this brand new world to which you had probably no introduction, like no knowledge, you're like, okay, I'm here. Where's all the people I'm supposed to help? Don't they just line up out the door? I don't understand.
and where's my certificate that I
Yeah,
can hang
like
on the wall for proof?
I'm qualified.
I'm just these five people that you can't see, they tell me
Yeah.
I'm qualified,
Yeah.
right?
They gave me my honorary degree. They're like, oh, she's crazy.
It's
But
confirmed.
but seriously, but that's a hard part of stepping into this work, right?
It is. It is
It
because we're taught in school, you have to have a diploma to prove that you did it. You have to go to school and you have to learn what you need to learn to be able to have the credentials to say that you are. And here I am just knowing I have
is.
this knowing and the natural ability to drop in and pull somebody in and hear their thoughts, to receive their messages, to get what they're needing, to understand that they're healing, to be able to scan their body with the help of God, to go through and their higher self to know exactly where we need to heal, what we need to release, what we need to pull. You just know it. And yes, so to your point, how do you just step into that and do that and know the process? I've learned to surrender. I've learned to listen. I've learned to go into meditation and ask. I I go and I do the meditation that I know I need to do. I no longer do guided. That was where I started because that's how it allowed me to step into it and get comfortable with it, to learn it. Now, when I go into my own meditation, I always know the music that's going to relax me into it. I follow the same path. I go to the same bench. I sit down. I wait for my higher self to arrive and I ask her questions. And then as I'm asking her questions, my guides show up and I ask questions and I let ask them, what do I need to know? What's important for me to know? What do you need me to know to help me help you? And I have these conversations with them and when I come out, I journal. I journal and I journal and I journal so that I can keep this in written form to go back and to refer to. And my dreams, I journal about my dreams because there's so much that comes to me in those experiences. And I trust. I trust the journey. I trust that whatever's meant to show up, when it shows up, it will. I listen, I hear, I do what they ask me to do. And I know that as long as I do that to the best of my ability, that's all I can do, and the rest will lay out exactly as it's meant to.
Mm.
I don't know if that's answering your
No,
question.
it is, it does. I'm always fascinated to know how people engage and interact with their guides and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because, when you realize, like, have your guides been with you the whole time, like through your whole life, or have you had new guides show up and kind of, I hear sometimes they can rotate out, like tag each other in, and because, sometimes we have different mentors that we need at different times.
So I didn't realize I had guides until I opened up. It'll be like truly a year ago in October that I fully opened. That's when I became aware, when my mentor helped me find my guides, like, well, allow my guides to come to me. They were
Mhm.
always there. I just wasn't open to them. And I started out with just four guides, and then all of a sudden one came in. And it was interesting. I was going to Canada. I live right on the Canadian border in Minnesota, and I was traveling across the into Canada, going through the border, the port. It's a very scary thing for me, always is. Don't know why, no reason to be. It's just you're going to another country and they're making sure that you're qualified. It's a woman thing. Most times my husband's like, what are you so scared of?" I'm like, "I don't know. Maybe they won't like me or I don't even know." But in the process of going for the very first time by myself, I'm going to a spiritual retreat, which is like God forbidden and bad, and you're doing devil's work, and who knows? All of a sudden, I'm talking to my main guide, Barb, and she says, "Tara, your main guide now is Juan." I'm like, "Well, wait, no, I didn't ask for this. We can't be doing this. I'm almost at like the border port. I'm almost there. We can't be switching this shit out right here, right now. Like we didn't discuss this." And all of a sudden I know that Barb is like not there, Juan's there. I'm like, "All right, I guess I have an Australian guide with a ponytail and you need a freaking haircut." Like, what the hell is this? But it took my mind off of being scared. And I was like, if I can do this, I can do anything. Like I'm going through this. Like it's just, yeah. Anyway,
That's so
that was my experience.
that's so funny. And just I want to say one thing. I happen to be Canadian. We love you.
Okay. And we love
Please
you too.
come visit.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I love going to, I go to Winnipeg. I love it. It's such a fun experience and everybody's nice. That's what I enjoy too, right? It's
Yeah,
just
nice,
enjoyable.
nice people. Yeah, it's funny. Just to segue back to your journey now. And please feel free to not answer if you're not comfortable doing it. But I'm curious to know, just to go back to arguably some of the very, very trying times of your life. You mentioned that you tried to take your own life a few
Yeah.
times.
Yes.
Has that, have you reflected on those experiences at all with where you happen to be now, where you're very tied into the other realm? How do you how do you reflect on those experiences with what you know now?
When I guess I'm not really sure how to answer that. When I reflect on it, I realize that honestly, when I sit in it right now, I was so disconnected from myself, not allowing myself to be myself, that I felt like the only way to end the pain of being a fake version of myself was just to take myself out. Because I believed, and I know that that's really like a terrible way to say it, but I'm just speaking very freely from my heart. If I couldn't be who I wanted to be, if I couldn't find happiness, if I couldn't be good enough, I felt like I was constantly failing. And so now, as I'm in the spiritual realm, as I am where I am now, I realize that I wasn't whole. And because I wasn't whole, I was feeling like I wasn't able to be everything that I needed to be in that state of happiness. And so I feel that I was so disconnected from all four bodies of being your physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And that caused a great deal of turmoil within and caused so much health, unhealthy situations, but also I was open to discarnate energy coming into my space. Discarnate energy is a past life that has suffered severe trauma, severe addiction, and they don't feel like their life experience or their purpose here is done. So they don't cross over and they live in the in between. And in that process, they find an empath to take up space. I say they take up residency within a human form in order to live out their purpose. And now, as I have went through healing as an energy healer and clearing out the energy, as I've went through so much deep, deep internal clearing out, I realized that I had discarnate energy. I had stagnant energy. I had a lot of imprints that were causing mental health issues for me that caused me to think that ending my life was the only way to give myself peace, to
Mm.
get away from all of the turmoil that was taking place. Took me a long way to get there, but I think I answered your question.
You did, yes. Thank you for that. The reason I ask that is because, being in that state of such deep sorrow and pain, when you're feeling that disconnection from, when we say disconnection from yourself, um, it's like your soul's essence, where you can't find that joy, right? You're just not able to see it.
Yep,
And,
yep.
as a woman as well, how much do we carry all the time where we're also trying to give and be the giving tree, and, you had three boys at the same time, and it's, I can only imagine the emotional turmoil that you were feeling at that time. And so when you talk about the discarnate energies and stuff, was that, do you think they were coming from your own past lives, or were they coming from other entities, or like how does that show up for you when you drop in and examine that experience?
For myself personally, I don't know that I made the connection of where it came from. I
Mm,
truly don't. When I've dropped in and I've worked with women that are clients, one-off clients, or those that are in my program, what I've found is there have been past life experiences where that discarnate energy has continued to travel through lifetime to lifetime to lifetime. There's also been in this lifetime where they've taken on it's not been from a lifetime. It's literally been, I had one woman that had just moved into this house, and I told her the name of the discarnate energetic individual that was within her,
mm,
and she said, Tara, that was a gentleman that owned this house before we bought this house, and
no.
he had passed in the house. So I've experienced it past life. I've experienced it in this life where they've come in either or. So
Wow, that's so, it's so fascinating, like for skeptics and things like that. Like it, when I see people questioning these things, I'm like, okay, well that's fine, that's normal, right? It just tells me that they haven't reached that plane of consciousness yet where they can sense just how, because human beings are so powerful,
yes,
energetic beings, right? Like you're there, we're feeling so much on a day-to-day basis. It's just, what's your level of awareness, right? Like
yep.
what are you actually aware of now? So when in your case, now that you're an intuitive healer, are you just open? Like, tell me a little bit about, you must have some way of boundaries, I guess, right? Otherwise, whoosh, like it's just you're a receiver now of all this energy.
Yes. I honestly had to put up boundaries because in the very beginning, I'm a student of the game. I love to learn. I'm also an elementary ed teacher. I don't teach, but I have my degree. So learning and taking on all the information is so exciting for me. So
Mhm.
when I first dropped into it, I started to travel the journey and open up. I was getting mediumship was coming to me, past lives, my husband's grandma and grandpa, my I was I'm like, whoa, okay. And he had mints in his pocket, and your grandma used to have you driving. And my husband's like, what? Like, and I would walk into different locations and I would all of a sudden have these hits coming at me. So I had to learn how to actually shut it down.
Mm,
Because, and this has been something, Chelsea, when we talk about this, I'm also a personal trainer. And so I was training
you're
a woman
busy.
I know, intentionally trying to find myself. Yes, that's a whole story for another day. I was training this woman who's very spiritual. I didn't realize, like, I just thought she was God spiritual. I
Mhm.
didn't know there was a difference. And she said, "Can I tell you something really weird?" I said, "Well, yeah, of course. We talk about all things as a personal trainer." She goes, "No, this is really weird." I'm like, "You can tell me whatever you need to tell me." She goes, "When I come into your yard, I see like dead people." I said, "What? Like you see what?" She goes, "Well, no, not like real." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Well, they're spirits." I said, "Well, why in the hell are they in my yard?" She goes, "Because they know that you receive them." I said, "Well, I don't receive them because I don't know them and I don't ask them to come here." And she goes, "But you do." So she saw this in me far before I ever saw it. And this is seven, oh my gosh, 12 or it's got to be at least 10 years ago.
Oh my God.
So, like 8 years prior to me opening up, she knew this about me, but I didn't know this.
They've been just lined up around the block for 10 years.
And we live, here's the other crazy thing. We live in the country, and the guy that lived here prior to us actually took his own life here, which explains to me why some interesting stuff has happened in our yard. So, yes, it all is very, very interesting. But I had to learn how to, I forgot where I was going with this, to put up a boundary.
Yeah, of course.
Now, I only allow anything in when I open. I actually have to like ground. I have to create a heart link up into the seventh plane. So then I'm fully grounded and then I can open.
Okay, okay. So I'm curious, so on a regular day-to-day basis then, are you you're not seeing these spirits. You're not seeing, are you feeling them? Like it, or,
Yeah, I don't see. I would love to see.
okay,
Others say you don't want to see. I would love to see. I feel. I just know. I
okay.
can I can just know. Hmm.
Yeah, because I'm channeling like that movie The Sixth Sense that came out like many, many years ago. I see dead people, right? And I'm like, I don't want to now. Yeah, that's okay.
I want to see the good ones, like
Right?
the ones that look safe to see, like the little grandma on the bench with the mint and the little poodle that she's petting. I want to see that.
Yeah, you don't want to see the other. Yeah, okay. Um,
Yes. Because I have a choice, right? I have a
that's
choice.
right. That's right, because you said you've got most of the clairs, right? So when you're feeling them, you're like, how does that feel for you?
Depends upon what I'm feeling. When I drop in and I'm feeling for somebody else, I feel exactly what they feel. If they feel anger, I feel the anger. If they feel sadness, I feel the sadness.
Mm.
If I'm in mediumship and somebody's past loved one comes forward, I always want that spirit to connect and know that they're safe. So I'll ask questions. I'll let them share, how did you pass? And I'll feel that. I know exactly how they pass. I feel the blow. I feel the experience, never the excruciating pain of what they went through, but I feel it. So I'll feel that, but I also feel the emotions. So if I were right now to allow you, like pull you in, I would feel if you've got excitement, if you've got curiosity, I would feel all of it in my body. I would know if you've been having a pain, if you've been having a pain somewhere in your body. I would key. I was called PI Magnum. I guess he's like I don't even know who this is, this like movie star anyway. Um, because I can feel it. Like I drop in and be like, "Ooh, we've got some issues in your lower back." And I'm guessing when I look at this, I can see that your hip is up to this side on your left, which means we need to do some hip flexor work so we can get you evened out. So I'm able to drop into all of that, which is interesting. When I say see, what I can see as I'm like doing the intuitive readings or doing a card reading, they'll send images to me. Like
Mm.
one time I kept seeing a green pepper. So I asked this gal, I'm like, why are they sending me peppers? She was like, oh, my boyfriend's past dog's name was Pepper. I said, oh, well, Pepper's here. So they'll send me images like that, or they'll send me what they looked like, and I'll be able to say, I have a lady in a pink robe before me. Oh, that's my grandma. She always wore a pink fluffy robe. So I'm able to see that to give them information for them to say, yes, 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 or nope, pass.
Wow. And so in the work that you do now, so you've taken your journey and you've applied it to now helping women become their most authentic selves, right? Their most sovereign, beautiful selves. And so you're combining personal training with intuitive healing. Is that right? Wow. Okay. I think
Yes.
I don't know if there's any other psychic personal trainers who like combine that. You deserve your own TV show. I would watch that. I would totally watch that.
Thank you. Oh my God. And my husband was here to hear this. He'd be like, "Oh, here we go again. Here's one more thing we're going down." Like, oh no.
So tell me, like, what's that like to combine the two in your
Oh,
work?
it is so incredible. Like, I would drop the F-bomb right now if I
Do
could.
it. This is an explicit show. I
Oh,
purposely don't call it clean because F-bombs and other shit bombs get dropped.
right? It's literally, I have to say, it's so fucking amazing.
Nice.
Because I can drop in and intuitively know exactly what is going on in their body. Why are they not able to lose weight? Why are they struggling to be able to keep the weight off, do the workouts? What's really going on?
Mm,
Oh, so you're telling me you're tired. Okay, I'm going to drop in and we're going to find out. You're really not tired, are you? You're avoiding it because you're so afraid that if you lose the weight, then you're going to have unwanted advances from men. Okay, let me go deeper. Oh, you had a really, really shitty experience when you were 14 and some guy did something to you that was absolutely abhorrent. And that is why you will not lose the 200 and some pounds that is keeping you safe. When I can go in and I can get to the nitty gritty of the bottom, the root cause of this, Chelsea, we can start like pulling, releasing. I've NLP practitioner, so we can release limiting beliefs. We can do timeline therapy. We can do submodality belief changes because now I know what in the hell is going on in the body and why it's doing what it's doing. And it's because I can intuitively allow their body to speak to me.
oh my God, that's incredible. Yeah, because I'm sure, like, as any woman is aware, it's never about the weight.
No,
Like,
no,
really.
no. I had a woman that would lose 58 pounds and her goal was 60. And this is so ironic to me that it was. Her goal was to lose 60 pounds. She lost 57 and a half pounds. They check in twice a week. She checked in on a Wednesday. I celebrated her hard. I'm like, I am so proud of you. You are like right there to 60 pounds. This is your goal. I mean, I was building her up. She started ghosting me. She would not respond. She wouldn't do her workout. She wasn't tracking her food because I'm PI Magnum. So I'm in their life seeing all
Mhm.
this. And 2 weeks later, she comes, she's like, "Oh, Coach, I don't know what happened. I just like fell off and I couldn't get back." And I'm like, you know what? This happens. You know, there's always a reason. Get back at it. She loses 58 pounds. I celebrate her hard once again. Same thing
Mm.
happened. Comes back. I'm like, all right, I did it twice. I'm not doing it a third time. So we're going and I'm staying quiet. She's at 59 pounds. I set up a Zoom call, drop in. I start asking questions, getting to the nitty gritty of what happened. Why won't she let herself hit 60 pounds? So I asked my guides, what questions do I need to ask her? What do I have to say to her to get her to open up? And I listened and I waited. And so I asked her, what is it about 60 pounds that scares the fucking hell out of you? And just like that, just because I said the word fuck and I said scared and I put it in that statement, she just froze and she said, "Oh my God, like 8 years ago, I lost 60 pounds and I went out with girlfriends to celebrate. And when I left to go home to my husband, I was jumped and raped in the parking lot. I can't lose 60. Yeah, she goes, I can't lose 60 pounds, Tara. I can't lose because then bad things are going to happen. And she just started to spiral. And just right there, I knew why she could not let herself lose 60 pounds. We were able to heal, go through. She has now lost 89 pounds and
Oh my God.
absolutely shifted her life. Yes. So it's not about the weight. It never honestly is about the weight on so many different levels. It's so much deeper than that.
Oh my goodness. I don't even it's just so incredible to me like the amount of absolute, I'm sorry, fucking garbage that women have to deal with though on their journeys. And it's just like you just have to buck up and then you dig deeper and you just realize the amount of trauma that's carried by women. And I mean Like, I'm sure that's just one of many stories that you hear as well. I'm
Yes.
sure that's just one
And the
of
key
many.
It is. And I want to share too is like it's so easy for us women to get angry about this, like to get mad of what
Mhm.
all we have to deal with. Like I can't be sexy because then men will throw cat calls or make me feel uncomfortable or whatever it might be. I can't have too much muscle. I've got muscle. I'm a bodybuilder. So now I make other men feel insecure. So then you get those comments and stuff. And so it's so very easy to become angry about it. And in my program, She Rises, instead of becoming angry, we become empowered. It's like
Mm,
we're not blaming anybody here. We're taking back our power.
mm,
And so we're ripping them of their power because we're so confident in our journey and becoming her that we don't give a shit what anybody says, what anybody thinks. They can say it, they can think it, but they can never impact us in the way that they did before because I won't allow it because I don't have to allow it.
yeah, yeah. That is so inspiring. And I had a download recently that was talking about this very thing is it's power, right? And it's not power over, it's in power with
Yes.
ourselves, like with our sisters, like with other women around us that we can empower, and together you're infinitely more powerful than the individual. And right now, this work is, I don't think it needs to be explained why this work is so needed right now.
Mhm.
Especially, I'm sorry to say, it seems like it's a very difficult time to be a woman in the United States right now. And so I can only imagine what it's like to also work with the collective energies that's impacting individual women. I don't know if you can offer any insight to that as well for anyone listening.
It is. When a woman comes into my program, she is so proud of herself for, first of all, saying yes to herself. She's excited for what is possible for her, that she's
Mhm.
finally believing. And then, shortly out of the gate, then of course, we're met with the toxicity of other people's insecurities, bringing her down, telling her, she's not capable of doing this. And you've tried it how many other times and nothing's ever happened. Or their insecurities of her changing, making them feel less than. So then they try to bring her down to their level in order to make them feel better.
Right.
And so there is, as a collective, it gets to be such a battle of working with my women, of having to help her just get the noise out, continue to avoid the noise. And for me to avoid the noise as well, to not say, I would like to show up at your doorstep. Can you tell me a good time? I will be there with a baseball bat and we will right? Like
Yeah.
it's that easy way to get angry and say, I just want to scare the ever-loving hell out of these people so that they learn to just step back. And then I remind myself, it's empowering her.
Mhm.
And I say that as a baseball bat, and if anybody knows me, they know they would never ever do that. So for your listeners, like I like to speak the big talk. I would never do it. But
Okay,
it's
feminine rage.
right.
Yeah.
It's bringing her into her power and teaching her how to handle the toxicity, how to handle the noise and the struggle. And so every time it happens, I always tell my women, I am so grateful this is happening right here, right now, when you're with me, because we can learn how to navigate this and you can learn how to stop giving up on yourself when the noise gets loud. You're going to learn how to get louder as you rise.
Mm.
And that's what we do together is we work through it. And the more that you work through it, the higher that you rise. All this noise just falls away. And the beauty of it is that you discover who's meant to be in your life and who is not. Because those that are meant to be in your life that truly love you, they will rise with you once they get past their insecurities, or they simply fall away and they're no longer in your life. And of course, there's a grievance of that when you lose people that you once thought loved you and you now realize that they didn't love you to the level that you thought they did. But then as time goes, you rejoice the fact that you get freedom from somebody that was keeping you from being the woman that you were destined to be.
Yeah. Yeah. I can only imagine the immense changes that you're able to help these women enact in their own lives. It's a difficult process that you walk people through, but you walk with them, right?
You're
It's
the vessel.
yeah,
Yes, you're the vessel. And
absolutely.
I always say to my women, I can only help you as much as you're willing to help yourself. I'm here. You're doing the healing. I will guide you. I will help you. I will do the best I can. But if you're not willing to do it, nothing will shift and nothing will change. So you're right. We are the vessel, and it's beautiful. It's such a beautiful experience to get to hold the space for them and keep them safe and help them through the journey of it in that. But we don't get to do the healing in itself.
Yeah. I'm curious, would you be open to doing a short guided meditation for
Yeah,
listeners?
absolutely. I think I would love to do this childhood, this inner childhood healing meditation that I just brought my women through. I was channeled to take them through. Would that be okay?
Oh, beautiful. Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. Good. So, what I'm going to just have everybody do is if you feel comfortable with it, you can close your eyes. If you don't feel comfortable, you can keep them open. And knowing that when you are in meditation, you can also be walking as long as you're able to hear. Just going to ask you, just feel your body right here, right now, beginning to relax as you hear my voice, allowing your body to know that it's safe to release and let go of what's no longer needed, what's no longer serving you. Ask that you take a deep breath in through your nose, suspend at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale through your mouth. And as you exhale, feel so much what no longer is serving you leave your body. Taking another deep breath in through your nose. Bringing in healing and joy and love and peace, and exhaling out what no longer serves you. Just feeling that shift in your body as you took those 2 deep breaths and exhaled out so much of what no longer is needed for you. It's not yours, letting it go. And now I want you to know that I'm going to count from 5 to 0. And when I get to 0, you're going to be standing at the top of a staircase. And the staircase is the most beautiful staircase you've ever seen. 5, 4, moving towards a staircase now. 3, almost there, feeling this excitement and this joy coursing through your body as you're getting closer to it, knowing there's something that's going to revitalize you, waiting for you. 2, 1, almost there, and 0. Standing at the top of this beautiful staircase, you see your hand reach out and touch the railing. And now we're going to go down the staircase. At a count of 10, from 10 to 0, and as we go down the staircase, you're going to feel your body continuing to relax and release. The lower we go, the lighter you'll feel, releasing and letting go. 10, seeing your foot take a step down. 9, 8, your body is releasing and letting go, feeling just the bottoms of your feet growing warm, coming up through your ankles and into your knees. Your legs are growing so tired. You're feeling yourself floating already along the stairs. 8, 7, floating down the staircase. 6, feeling this warm pressure and relaxation coming all the way up into your hips, into your belly. 5, 4, going lower and lower, deeper and deeper. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the deeper you go. 2, feeling this warmth and this relaxation coming into your chest, into your heart chakra, all the way down your arms and into your fingertips, into your shoulders. Your shoulders drop in relaxation, all the way up your throat. Your jaw relaxes, all the way behind your mouth, your eyes, forehead, and out the top of your head, fully relaxing you. In 0, we're at the bottom of the stairs. You're so relaxed right now. Feels so good. And now, as you move forward at the bottom of the stairs, you see this beautiful path. And this path is very familiar. You've been here before, and you're walking along the path. And as you continue to move down the path, you see this beautiful door in front of you. And this door has familiar patterns and symbols that you know exactly what they say. And as you step up to the door, you notice that it's locked. And just like that, you have this knowing that you have the key, whether it's in your pocket, whether it's under a rock or under the mat, you have the key and it's now in your hand. And you put it into the key lock and you turn it. And at the sound of the click, the door pops open. You put the key back in your pocket and you step through the door. And as you step into this space, notice if it's a room or notice if it's simply a place. Whatever it is, it's exactly for you. And then notice that you see this stream up ahead. And you notice the glistening on the water and the exact color of the water. And this waterfall that is flowing into the stream, just making this beautiful sound, relaxing you deeper and further. And you slide into the stream, and instantly you feel this water coursing through your body, cleansing you, clearing you, preparing you to meet your inner child. And as you step up and out of the stream, you notice 3 cushions in front of you. You step forward and you sit on the cushion, whatever cushion of choice that you feel is the one for you. And in just a short bit, you notice that your higher self is seated next to you. Just take a couple seconds now to listen and hear what she has to say to you in preparation to meet your inner self. And now, as you're listening and hearing her, notice that your inner child has shown up. And notice as you look at her, what's the color of her hair? What clothes is she wearing? Take note of all these little details that you see. And then ask her what her name is, or him, ask them what their name is. Notice if they'll look at you, and if they won't, that's okay. Just hold space. And as you're sitting with them, you notice that you reach over and take their hand and hold their hand, just letting them know that they're safe to be there with you today, and that you're ready to hear whatever it is that they need to share with you, that you're there to be open to the message that they need to share in order to receive the healing that they need, in order to help you to fully connect with yourself. And now listening to what they have to share with you, the exact message that they came here today to give to you. And now you notice that your higher self begins to give to you exactly what it is that they need, what your inner child needs, whether it's light, beautiful light, or specific healing, or an object, or a sound, whatever it might be. You feel it pouring into your body, and as it pours into your body, you now see this heart link connecting to your inner child. As this healing pours from you, it pours into your inner child, healing them, connecting you into this strong bond, bringing you together. And if your inner child is feeling any sadness or crying or feeling angry, just hold space. Let them feel the emotions. And if it feels right, you can give them a hug. And now thank them for being here. Thank your inner child for being here today. And notice that they're beginning to get smaller and smaller and smaller to the point that they fit right in the palm of your hand. And hearing your higher self let you know that you're meant to bring your inner child up into your heart and allow them to merge into your heart chakra in order to become one with you. Doing this now and feeling the space of your heart grow so warm, feeling this deep sense of love as they become one with you. Thank your higher self for being here with you today, giving her a hug. And as you stand up, you notice that she steps before you and becomes you. You are now your higher self, and your higher self is you. Knowing that she's with you always, he's with you always to guide you and protect you in this journey. And now you walk towards the door, and you go through the door, slipping out the door, and stepping right back into the room or the location that you were at the start of this meditation. Feeling your consciousness come back into your body, feeling your arms and your legs and your fingers and your toes, wiggling your toes and your fingers, coming back fully into yourself. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
You are so welcome. Thank you for allowing me to give that experience to you, for me to experience it, and also to your listeners.
That was just a really, really beautiful meditation. And I just, yeah, it's so interesting when you do those meditations, right? Because you just never know which version of your inner child's gonna
Yeah.
show up, right? And so I do get a sense that someone needs to hear that and do that meditation. So thank you so much for gifting that to my listeners.
Yeah, you're
And
welcome.
I'm curious, Tara, what's next for you? What's next going forward?
So I'm stepping out on the stage and speaking as a motivational speaker. And so bringing my intuitive ability to the stage where I can actually be present with audience members and be able to heal from the stage. So that's what's next, as well as the second cohort of She Rises is launching on September 2nd. And so I get to go through another beautiful 6-month journey with another 10 women who are going to get to rise into their authentic self.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Oh, and tell me, how can people get in touch with you? However, I'm assuming do you work with people one-on-one? Do you provide readings and all that good stuff? Okay.
I do. The
Okay.
best place to find all that information and to learn a little bit more about me is to go to my website, which is www.tara and the dash like you'd find in a telephone number.
Mhm.
So tara-wisco.com.
Okay, wonderful. I'll make sure that all of that information, all of your details are in the show notes as well. But
Thank you.
Tara, it's been such a joy and a privilege to share this space with you. Thank you so much. It was such a wonderful conversation. I think I could talk to you for hours about these things. I feel like,
Same.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
we have a lot in common too. And thank you just for doing the work that you're doing. It's just so, so important that we have people like you who are lifting up women.
Thank you so much. And to you as well for the work you do, having this podcast, bringing people into awareness that it's available. It's something that most of us don't know that it is available and that it's okay for us to allow it to be available to us to be blessed with. So thank you for bringing this message and putting it out there. I appreciate you.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being here. If something stirred within you today, that's not an accident. It's a shift. To go deeper, visit thesovereignshift.ca, where you'll find breathwork audios, resources, mini courses, workshops, and programs to support your reclamation, body, mind, and soul. Like, follow, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, your breath is your power. Your truth is your compass. Your sovereignty is the revolution. Until next time, stay sovereign.